How's it going, folks? In this video, I wanted to talk a little bit about a scene that I've mentioned in previous videos relating to character arcs and stuff like that. But I really want to delve specifically into this scene, and the scene in hand, as you can tell by the thumbnail, is one brutal scene. This is just pure rage and just pent-up anger and frustration just being unleashed out there into existence. And I feel like this is one of those scenes where if you've had this kind of stuff done to you throughout your life by people or whatever, any kind of bullying, you will be able to appreciate this scene in all its entirety, and you'll be like, fuck yeah, man, woo, get it, Hawk, smack the crap out of him. Absolute, like with every swing, with every hit, it just feels like this isn't Hawk at the moment, this is Eli. With all the years of trauma that these guys have put against him. This is him letting it all out. And I remember when the trailer was first dropped, everyone thought that, you know, Kyler was going to be the one to get the smackdown put on him. And, you know, I have no doubt in my mind, as much as I feel like Dimitri and Kyler might fight in the tournament, you know, maybe Hawk might eliminate Kyler, who knows. The tournament's just in one of them kind of positions where it's anyone's game at the minute. But with this scene in particular, I feel it's so much more poetic and so much more interesting to have Kyler be the bystander and watch as a person that he bullied and vilified and made a victim. Just stand there and watch as he takes his, you know, supposedly best friend, Brooks, and absolutely lays the smackdown on him. As soon as Hawk says, he's mine, you know shit's about to go down. And he doesn't even, he's not really looking at Brooks, he's not really, you know, fazed by it at all or anything. Brooks is just kind of like, okay, I'll fix your lip. Pulls off the gi, the Hawk sound, tattoo on screen, and he's like, dude. And I think at that moment, and you even see Kyler in the offset, the direction that Kyler gets is lower your hands. And the vibe I get from that is, oh, right. And then Kreese at this moment is just enjoying it. He's having fun. Now, I don't think, people have asked me, I don't think he wanted Hawk to leave Cobra Kai. As soon as Kreese came back into the fold in Season 2, he's enjoyed using Hawk as a puppet, you know, dangling him by a string, you know, going and, you know, the fight's only over when you say it's over. He sees Hawk as an asset. That's why he doesn't want to get rid of him, because he knows he can use his rage and his experiences to his advantage. Case in point, this scene, where you could argue, did he know that they bullied Hawk previously? Who knows, maybe he did. But ultimately, he brings them in, and he eliminates Mitch out of the dojo and says, get out of here, only the strong will survive. And that really sort of sets Hawk in a sort of Terminator mode. And as soon as Hawk throws off the gi, Kreese tells the flagman, put the flags down. Put it down, put it down. Because he doesn't want this to be a standard match. He knows exactly what Hawk's about to do. And he doesn't even... I've seen some of the folks who reacted to the episode, and it's kind of funny in a way, where Kreese is like, finish him! Like, and he's already being finished before Kreese can even get a word in. But it just feels like with every swing, every punch, every hit, every kick, it's just a small sample of the amount of anger and rage that is within Hawk, with all the stuff that Brooks and Kyler's crew have done to him over the years based on his look with the lip. And it's very interesting in a way that Kyler just has to stand there and watch. And as soon as Hawk finishes up, blood on hands, you know, and I've been asked, you know, should we have seen Brooks's body? I don't think we should have. And I think it's good that they didn't show us, because it adds to the mystery of, what does he look like? What has Hawk just done to him? You know, from the look of what he was doing, he looked like he was absolutely beating the living daylights out of him. So when he walks up to Kyler and Kyler looks down in submission, that is a very, very true telling of what would happen if you took the smackdown to most bullies. They'd quiver, they'd look down in fear. Because in reality, bullies bully bullies. No, the bully bullies someone else, so they don't, you know, feel like they're being bullied. by pushing their, projecting all of their fears and anxieties and emotions and insecurities onto someone else, and then that person passes it on to someone else, and it's just a constant chain that keeps going and going and going. And what I love about this is right off of the bat, off of, Hawk breaking Dimitri's arm. And, as I've talked a little bit about, his regret in that moment of when that happened anyway. He wasn't fully convinced about it. He wasn't convicted in it. You could see in his eyes the conflict there. And I've said that Sam's arc is probably my favourite in Season 3 overall, because she developed as a leader, she developed as, someone that would stand on her own 2 feet, she developed as more than just a love interest. But I feel like Hawk really had a very close second, if I'm being honest. The spotlight that he got throughout this season, and I've said it 1,000 times, he is on par with Robbie and Miguel. I know in Season 2 he got his ass handed to him, but in terms of this season, he is on par with them. And the reason Miyagi-Do or Eagle Fang need him is while Miguel is recovering, Hawk has been consistently training. While Miguel's been in hospital, Sam's been dealing with whatever, Robbie's been inside, Hawk has been the one that has consistently been training ever since that event. I feel like he is leaps and bounds above where he is at, and I feel like if he is to lose to Robbie or Miguel again, it's mostly due to plot, because the plot revolves around those two. But make no mistake, this is a character that is genuinely bad to the bone, and I feel like one thing that is going to really happen next season is he may be with, quote unquote, the good guys. That doesn't mean he's still not going to have these bursts. He could still have this burst. He could have another burst, and Daniel can help coach him out of it. Whereas with this scene, Kreese is just relishing it. He's enjoying it. He's loving it. He's just like, he's like Mr. Burns, just excellent. He's enjoying it. He's like the Emperor, just, pulling strings and just enjoying toying with Hawk like a puppet. Whereas Daniel will actually take Hawk under his wing and say, look, I can help you with this. We can help you break out of this. I don't know if forever Hawk will keep the Mohawk. I kind of hope he does, because it's really sort of significant to his character, I feel. But I wouldn't be surprised if he just goes back to regular Eli. But ultimately, this scene in particular is a prime example of what happens when you bully people. It doesn't come out in short bursts. It comes out in an explosion. And they wait for that. Some people, I'm not trying to, justify victims of bullying getting revenge and all that. I'm just saying this is why this stuff happens. This is why. Because you have a character, or not even a character, a kid like Eli, who meant no harm to anyone, who was a lovely kid, who was made fun of, absolutely just torn to shreds by everyone. And then he finally gets a chance to stick it to the bullies that done him wrong. And he takes full advantage. And he, for all intents and purposes, he makes Kyler his lapdog. Absolutely makes him his lapdog. And even though Hawk is now with the good guys, Tori's threat to Hawk, which I've got a little video sort of covering on, Tori's threat to Hawk about him needing to watch his back, I think she's saying that to the wrong person, personally, because despite Hawk maybe losing control now and then, I feel like in Season 2, when he lost control, he acted, stupidly, he got ahead of himself. In Season 3, when he lost control, he was dangerous. Very dangerous. And as soon as he turns, as soon as he quote-unquote redeems, joins back with his friends, the tide shifts. The whole balance shifts. That's the difference that he makes to, Eagle Fang and Miyagi-Do by switching sides. And with this scene here, it's just so satisfying. If you've ever had anyone in your life, and I'm sure most people can relate, I'd say about 80% of everyone that exists has had someone who's looked down on them, someone who's wronged them, someone who's, treated them differently. Wouldn't it be so satisfying to do all this? And this scene is just sort of a visual representation of what can happen when you push a victim of bullying so far that they get to this mentally unstable place where they will literally go to this length and they won't stop. As I said, not short bursts. One massive explosion, and it all blew up in Brooks's face, quite literally, as Kyler was there to watch. And again, Tori's threat to Hawk, you better watch your back. In this scene, she looks down and looks like in shock and gasping, and it's like, calm down with the overconfidence. This isn't, this is Hawk. And I feel like if you put Hawk back to his Season 2 power level, you really do a disservice to his arc. I really want him to be right up there. I want him to be the best fighter at that dojo, besides maybe Sam, because, you know, she's the Russo's daughter. Best fighter at that dojo. Until Miguel gets back to full strength, which he no doubt will in Season 4, I want him to be literally the main dude in that dojo. And Johnny and Daniel will have the utmost respect for Hawk. You know, Hawk is Johnny's student. He always will be Johnny's student. Hence the line, when you came in my dojo, you were softer than a baby's ass. I made you what you are, not Kreese. I made you this. And that pays off when Kreese starts eliminating all of Johnny's students, all of the nerds that Johnny started with. He starts eliminating them one by one because he doesn't... If Eli walked into Kreese's dojo, Kreese would have just said, get out of here. But Johnny took him in and transformed him into this, what you see here, an absolute machine. That's what Johnny is capable of. He's capable of turning it all around for nerds in a good, badass way. Kreese wouldn't have even given Eli a second look. But because Hawk is at a place where Kreese can use him to his advantage, that's why he kept him around. So I do feel like Hawk switching sides will be a little bit of a blow for Kreese. Not a major blow, but it will be a bit of a blow, because he enjoyed dangling the carrot in front of him, like a little, you know, puppy, saying, hey, you want to be the top dog? You want to be the top dog? Here you go. Come and get it, boy. Come and get it. Come and get it. And never actually give it to him. And that's all Hawk wanted. He wanted to prove he was the #1 dog. And he ultimately just fell short of the mark because he wasn't what Kreese was looking for. And Kreese's method of teaching doesn't work with who Hawk really is, because again, he's Eli. The Hawk is a persona. Robbie, however, fits perfectly with what Kreese is going for. Tori fits perfectly. Kyla fits perfectly. So, ladies and gentlemen, comment your thoughts down below on this scene. Let me know if you want me to do any more of these kind of scenes, because I really enjoy doing them, and I sort of try and delve into the character's psyche about why they're doing what they're doing. And this isn't just as black and white as Hawk getting revenge. This is Hawk letting it all out. 3 seasons, years worth of trauma and pain. He's letting it all out on every single, you know, every single ounce and fiber of his being. He's letting it all out on Brooks while Kyla's standing there watching. And, you know, I am a big advocate for Dimitri eliminating Kyla in the tournament, and then You're the Best Around starts playing. But if Hawk's the one to do it, then hey, it's just good business. So ladies and gentlemen, comment your thoughts down below. And yeah, in the King's English, it's good old-fashioned